Hi everyone, Donut here. I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, ever. I am going to talk about an incident without much context whatsoever. Mainly to talk about the importance of asking for context instead of being outraged. I was browsing Twitter, and believe it or not, this never happens. I came across a celebrity talking bad about police. Naturally, I says, well, I'm going to see what's going on here because they probably don't know what they're talking about. You know, if you come across the thumbnail on Twitter and it's got a cop in it with 8.2 million views, it's going to be a juicy one. The tweet that I came across is from the most popular video game player in the world and use of force expert Ninja. Ninja says, imagine just having a single pistol/gun pointed at you when you are the victim, a child/teenager. Now imagine an AR pointed at you when you are the victim who is in need. This is simply disgusting. Aha! We figured it out. Ninja was there on scene. Let's watch the video. It looks like the video got the most retweets at 83,000 from where Mr. Rex Chapman retweeted it, who did not film it. He says, Santa Clarita, California, 3 black teenagers were being attacked by a homeless man and witnesses called for help. When police arrived, they pointed their guns and arrested the kids who needed their help, terrifying them. On brand, exhausting. Let's remember he wasn't there, but let's also remember I wasn't there either. But what's important is to say, well, why were they pointing their guns at those people? It was because they're black, right? People always jump to that, and as a white man who has the largest police YouTube channel in the world, I've had police point guns at me before too. I've been swatted 4 times. They almost kicked in my front door, and if I hadn't called them beforehand to say, hey, I'm gonna get swatted, they would have kicked in my front door and pointed guns at me. I would have been irritated, but I would have understood because I know a little bit about police procedure, and that's why I'm here to explain this to you. I'm gonna sit here and watch this video with you guys.
Get away from me.
It's the other guy. It's the other guy. It's the other guy. Put your guns down. They're kids. They weren't kids. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Guys, do not. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
Yo, they got their friend.
Put your hands up. Okay, shh. I'm the manager here at Buffalo Wild Wings. They don't care because they black. They don't care because they black. They don't care because they black.
All right, as that woman said, she's the manager at Buffalo Wild Wings. I am so glad that we have someone in that position of power here to talk the police through this whole situation. They automatically went for what we just talked about. They're only pointing guns at them because they're black. What I see here is a felony stop, not traffic stop because they weren't driving a car, but it's a felony stop nonetheless because they're pointing guns at them and asking them to turn around and walk backwards towards them while they keep their guns on them so that they can cuff them. It's obvious they're securing the scene. They just rolled up. So naturally, you should be asking yourself, well, what did these teenagers do? What happened? Why are the cops pointing guns at them? Instead of saying, oh, they're black. Cops, that's why.
I'm the one that called you. They didn't do nothing at all.
Back up.
I'm the one that called you. It was not them.
They didn't do nothing wrong. They put it.
Sir, can I please talk to you for a minute? Can I talk to someone?
They didn't call the
We can tell you, there's no reason. They're kids, bro. Back up. Hey, they're just kids.
guys, back up.
We're not doing that. We're right here. We're not doing that.
Let me just go ahead and point out that the dozens of people, dozen or more people screaming at police is making this situation much more dangerous because the people who they're performing the felony stop on probably can't hear very well, probably can't hear the police's instructions very well, and it's taking the police officer's focus off of the people they're looking at so that they can control the crowd that's advancing on them. We should still keep the question in our minds, why are they doing this?
We're right here. We're right here. They didn't even do nothing.
Back up.
You know,
You need to let them go.
Hey,
That guy is
back
coming
up.
away with a knife.
I understand.
I was trying to
Some bullshit, man. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. They didn't even do nothing. They didn't even do nothing.
That guy was drinking alcohol. There's a
They don't care because they black. They don't give a fuck. They don't care because they don't care because they black. Because they black. They don't care. Because they black. That's why. Yeah, they don't care because they black. They don't care because they black. This is some bullshit. They didn't even, the kids didn't do nothing at all. Because they fucking black. That's why. Because they black. Because they black.
Why are you guys doing that?
This is crazy, man. This is some bullshit.
They got
You
no
should try
weapons.
This is some bullshit.
Let me just point out people in the crowd are saying they have no weapons. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the concept of a concealed weapon. Just that exists.
You can do nothing at all.
All exaggerated everything.
This is some bullshit.
You guys are wasting time by arresting this kid. It's not even
They don't care. They don't care.
Guy that's 32-year-old that was coming at you.
With a knife. With a knife. Some bullshit, man.
That's the video. It ends right there. From what I can read in reports, they were detained and released. So why the felony stop? We'll get to that here in a minute. Let's just read some of the comments and go through this like logical people. First, let's look at Ninja's comments. WTF is going on in the comments. People actually think pointing guns is just the police doing their job. I'll have you know that sometimes when you're a police officer, it's your job to point a gun at people. That's another hard to believe thing. Ninja replied to that and said, it's crazy, man. Mostly dumb internet trolls memeing, but it shows how naive some people are. You don't say. A homeless man has a knife harassing 3 teens, so officers show up with assault rifles. Again, just because you read it on the internet, Ninja, doesn't mean it's true. At the time this came out, no one knew anything, and we still don't officially know anything other than it's under investigation. Every single officer should lose his job. To be fair, there are quite a few comments under there saying, well, we don't really know what happened. Can we wait for the full context to come out? And I'm very proud of you people. Let's take a look at Rex Chapman's comments. With that many witnesses saying they did nothing wrong and the kids clearly complying, how hard is it to lower your weapons and de-escalate? I wish I had $1 for every time I pulled up to a scene and people were screaming, he didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything wrong. You're right. We should just pull up to the scene. And when someone says, hey, that guy didn't do anything wrong, you should just get on your radio and say, dispatch, I'll be 10-8, put me back into service. There's nothing to see here. The way these cops are acting, you'd think they're fighting ISIS terrorists, standing behind their doors, pointing rifles at kids for no reason whatsoever. They should be fired immediately and banned from police work. If I sound a little worked up, it's because I am. Ninja, like I said, is the most popular video game player in the world. 6.3 million followers just on Twitter, and he's on here feeding into this bullshit. A couple of the officers in this situation have already been doxxed, had people come to their house, and their lives are being threatened. Now, I'm going to tell you what I've heard personally from officers that work in that area. I'm not saying that this is completely 100% verified information. This is the word on the street from law enforcement officers who are there. Initial calls came in saying that some teenagers were beating up a homeless dude with a skateboard. When he was on the ground, they walked away. They walked to the bus stop. Homeless dude got up, pulled out a knife, and brandished a knife at them. This is when Buffalo Wild Wings staff and everyone in Buffalo Wild Wings and the surrounding area started watching. Get out of my room. Not you, John. Those people started calling police, and the police heard, he has a knife. He has a knife. He has a knife. Police said, who? The people on scene said, he has a knife. If this is true at this point, police know that there is a deadly weapon involved. Hence, a felony stop. Homeless dude had already ran off by the time they got there, and as I said, you're not going to believe an angry crowd of screaming people. Again, this is just what I've heard. I'm not saying it's true. I have been told that the homeless man could be getting a warrant for brandishing a knife, and the teens who were 16 and above could be getting a warrant for assault with a deadly weapon for beating up a homeless man with skateboards. Even if this is not true, it is always important to ask what happened in situations like this. If officers were responding to a call that involved a deadly weapon and a bunch of garbled information, then they're probably going to do a felony stop like they did here. I'll give you another example. This used to happen to us sometimes. You run a tag, it comes back to someone with a warrant, with a bad warrant, like murder or something. You get a few other cops behind you, you perform a felony traffic stop. You can't tell if the person's white, black, blue, purple, or brown inside the car. You just do a felony stop. Sometimes it's not pretty, but officers need to secure the scene if a deadly weapon is involved and do a felony stop. It's part of policing. I don't want to get stabbed. They don't want to get stabbed, so they secure their scene. One of the golden rules of use of force is always have the upper hand. That's just my 2 cents. Like I said, I could be completely wrong. That's just what I heard from some law enforcement sources in the area. I guess we'll see what happens the next couple of days. Everyone, please always ask for context. Context is not racist. That's like the motto of this channel now. Ninja, just keep talking about stuff you know nothing about to millions and millions and millions of impressionable young children. I'll be over at twitch.tv/NolanOperator as soon as this video is released. Everybody, please have a fantastic day.
Hacker.